Hello YouTube, Grave Foster here, and today I wanted to talk about McCree and kind of Overwatch in general. The footage that's going on in the background here is of the last days of McCree pre-nerf. I originally started playing McCree because his weapon reminded me a lot of the Last Word from Destiny, if any of you guys have played that, which I'm sure you have at least seen it. And that gun was probably my favorite gun from Destiny besides Praedyth's Revenge, the sniper rifle. So, and in Destiny, if you had a hand cannon and a sniper rifle, that was my 1-2 combo right there. Last Word and Praedyth, so. But alas, the time of the OP Graves has come to an end. Plenty of people have been complaining about it. I realized shortly after playing him, because of his likeness to the Last Word, I discovered that he was very strong, and I looked around after that and discovered that he was basically a must pick in the beginnings of the amateur playing that's happening, or the professional, competitive, whatever you want to call it, leagues or whatever that's going on for Overwatch right now. So between him and Reinhardt, he was played quite frequently in competitive games. So, and I'll my thoughts on him. I don't see. I guess they did the best that they could with nerfing him in comparison to everybody else, because in all honesty, his flashbang is pretty important for stopping certain characters. Tracer and Lucio come to mind first and foremost in that regard. A good Tracer or a good Lucio is almost impossible to stop unless you have a McCree, honestly. And you'll see in this game that I'm playing here, actually I am against the Lucio. I'm not sure if it was this one, but I'm pretty sure this is the Lucio that gave me some trouble, actually. A good Lucio is very hard to kill. I think they did the best with what they had. I'm glad that they left the left click alone, which is a single shot, because I think that's where the real skill of McCree shows through. Fan the hammer, yes, you have to aim it, but the damage output on it is so ridiculous. It kind of reminds me of the like the automatic shotguns from Call of Duty or from Counter-Strike. It's kind of like, yeah, you have to aim it, but it's so beginner friendly that it just ups your skill, I guess, a ton. So, and in the hands of somebody who knows what they're doing or who can really aim, it's almost unstoppable. Like, I mean, if somebody lands a flashbang and a fan the hammer, then they're basically dead. It doesn't matter who you are, unless you're Roadhog or Winston or any of the tanks, really. But even them, they go down so fast. So, I guess all in all, I'm pretty happy with the nerf. If you can be happy that your character that you've been playing is worse than he was. But as long as the left click, as long as the single shot's still good, and all the other things that make him interesting and different from other classes is intact, that's all that I really care about. I picked him up because of his likeness to the Last Word, and he still has that. So I'll keep playing him. I know he's not going to be as strong, but I still think that a good McCree is a good McCree, and still going to really be able to show off his skills. I'd like to continue working on landing headshots with the left click is super important. I mean, you can snipe people from across the map with it. Widowmakers, whatever, and you can shoot them faster. It kind of reminds me of like an AWP versus a Desert Eagle. I'm sorry, a Desert Eagle or a Scout versus an AWP in Counter-Strike. It kind of reminds me of that matchup a lot. Because even though the AWP is almost a single shot kill, Scouts and Deagles can beat them a lot if your aim is good, just because you have more rounds and it fires faster. So I'll definitely keep playing McCree, but we'll see. I might also start dabbling more in other characters, because no matter what, I pretty much always have a blast playing this game, and I switch characters around a lot anyways, so even though McCree is what I've been playing a lot recently, that doesn't mean it has to stay that way. I've been getting more into Junkrat too. I think he's a blast to play. Really, just in general, I think that Blizzard is doing a really good job with Overwatch, and I still think it's one of the most fun games I've played in a few years even. Especially the game type that it is. It's definitely a blast, and I really advise anybody of you out there that haven't played it yet to at least watch people that are better than me play, because the game has a really high skill cap, and it's also fun just for anybody to get into. Here pretty soon, Blizzard is planning on releasing competitive ranked. I don't know if it's going to be solo queue or team queue, but here pretty soon they are planning on releasing ranked gameplay, so that should be really fun for us to try out. And I think that'll bring a whole nother dimension to this too, and it'll really get fleshed out which characters are more OP or less OP than others, and really just allow for a more competitive environment for all characters and balance. Other than that, I think that Blizzard posted what their plans are going forward with this game just recently, and I believe it was along the lines of them saying, you know, like that they're really working hard right now on fleshing out a ranked mode, and they'll move on to other stuff later. I guess the ranked mode that they had from beta basically got completely trashed, so, and I'm not exactly sure what that entailed. I wasn't around for the beta that I didn't play the beta that had ranked in it. I only played the stress test and the open beta, so I did not see. I was not privy to any ranked mode. So going forward, though, I do believe that Blizzard is really trying to do a good job of listening to the community with this game, on the sheer fact that they want it to be super competitive, even along the lines of they want it to beat Team Fortress 2 for sure. In the I guess like it's a certain kind of FPS that, you know, it's based around team composition rather than, you know, I wouldn't say that it's going to compete with Counter-Strike competitively. I would say that it would compete with Team Fortress 2 competitively. I think it will eventually beat where Team Fortress 2 was at the height of its competitive, I guess, at the height of when it was a super competitive game, when people were watching teams play against each other. I do think that it has the potential to surpass that, and I honestly think it has already surpassed that. Don't get me wrong, I've played a lot of Team Fortress 2. I love that game, but in all honesty, I find this to be a lot more fun and has more replayability, I guess. I on Team Fortress 2, there were certain classes that I never touched. I never was into the grenade launcher. I was never into demo guy. I think that's demo. And I was never into the rocket launcher guy. I cannot remember those two guys' names for the life of me. I always played spy and scout and heavy sometimes and pyro. I never played medic. I felt like that was boring, even though it's not that much different than it's not. I don't think it's super different from Mercy, but for some reason, just the flight mechanic on Mercy makes it so much more fun. There's a lot of, obviously, like Widowmaker and the spy and the sniper from Team Fortress 2 are very similar. They're charging up their sniper rifles and stuff. I think that's pretty cool. I'm glad that Blizzard was influenced by Team Fortress 2. I'm glad that I feel like they paid homage to it. But ultimately, I do believe this game will surpass Team Fortress 2. Especially if they add hats. That's really all they need to just take it up and away. Other than that, guys, I plan on trying to upload more videos of different characters. That's why I'm on McCree right now. I'm just trying to feel out all the different characters, because really they're all blast. And I also find it really hard to main one role unless it's support. Or, I mean, even tank, sometimes you don't want to, sometimes you just can't. I feel like support, like, if you are playing Lucio, like, you can play Lucio in a game no matter what. Like, even if you have a Mercy, okay, well, a Lucio's cool too. If you have a Symmetra, obviously, Zenyatta, like, it's all good. Especially in pubs, especially in random groups. That being said, I do think that there is a limit on how many tanks you have on your team. And there's definitely a limit on the other classes. So it's really hard for me to go into a game and try to, like, you know, just grind out games of McCree. Well, it's going to be harder now, I guess. But really, there's certain character slots that you can't necessarily can't just continuously play over and over again. You have to be versatile in this game, unless you're always playing in a pre-made or playing on a team of some sort. Then you can specialize. You know, I'm sure we'll see Lucio mains in esports and stuff like that coming up pretty soon. But ultimately, if you're playing this game, even with friends for the most part, you're gonna have to be able to switch up. So I'm gonna grind out games of other characters and see how I do, and I'll be putting those videos up real soon. I just want to say another thank you to Blizzard for making this game awesome, and if you guys haven't played it yet, you really should. It's a blast. You'll have a lot of fun. And rest in peace to the McCree. Right click, hammer fanner. Here it is in action. 3 kills. Play the game. Easy mode. GG. Lates.